Beep beep. Welcome back, everyone. This week we're at the Walton One cross country race. Yeah, so this is my third time here, and I was really pumped for this race. I was like, yeah, whoa, look at me all over the place. And I was like, yeah, okay, I know the course. I can do this. I can do better this time. And so about that, I thought it was going to be fine on the MX side, and it would probably get a little bit shitty in the woods. I have never. I think the only time I've ever ridden on this kind of stuff was when I had my little experience at Burnt River at the start of the year before. So when it was like, I can only describe the MX side as being like driving on chocolate cake, and oh my god, I was all over. Hey, look at me go! I was all over the place. I haven't changed my tires. I got about 70 hours on these fucking things, and I was like, they started to wear out. I actually have ordered some new tires. I got some Starcross ones coming. They just hadn't arrived yet by this time, so they might have helped. So unfortunately, this race was an absolute disaster. My first lap. This is the first time I've stopped in a race since probably my second race. I don't know what race I'm on now, but I've done quite a few now, and I think it's the only time that I've stopped, not because I've got like arm pump or anything, but because I'm literally out of breath. As you can see in the woods, we're all a little bit over the place. I'm a little bit hesitant because I got spooked by the start of this race. You know, I was literally sideways and trying to track forwards. It was so tough. But getting out into these woods, it's all good. The track is, the grip is quite good in the woods, actually. There's nothing to hugely worry about. It's a little bit slippery in some sections later on, but for the most part, like it's actually decent. So yeah, a lot of people were getting caught out all over the place. There was a lot of people falling over and flopping around. But I didn't find anything in the woods particularly difficult. So, unfortunately, what happened was, as you can see, it's slippery. You can see back here. But what happened was, I wasn't going fast enough, and I wasn't able to eject all the mud out of my tread. And whenever I tried to accelerate, my bike would just go sideways, which was an absolute disaster, of course. I'm a little hesitant this lap compared to other laps, and you can see like it gets a little sloshy and I lose a lot of speed, and I'm trying to gain momentum, but I'm not falling over. I'm just sort of sliding around. You can see here it's like chocolate cake in the woods, but it's not such a big deal. you can make it through pretty simply. Yeah, so you know, going through here. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So basically, the woods were fine, but the MX side was like, oh my god, I haven't. Oh, that stump there caught me out. Sorry, I'm just getting like sidetracked by everything going on. What I'm trying to say. So here we got a little confused. We were supposed to go down, loop round, and then come back. Well, there was actually like this little enduro section that they had put where you jump like 10 logs. I did that on my last lap. I was going to go there, and then I saw everybody turn right, and I was like, what's going on? So I'll go that way. And then I realized, everyone's just driving around circles. So we all razz off. And then they put this like grass track section with some logs. This was a much better idea than having the logs down the spectator straight. Even though we're in the middle of nowhere and nobody can see us doing it, but it made for a really cool thing. And some of these corners you could take I was taking what I consider really fast later on. For me, I felt like a champion. Get some little power slide going out. Anyway, we started to get closer to where this is still the first lap where the absolute disaster happened. So here we go. So we're coming around here. Whoa, you can see it, just like people going all over the place. And you have to remember, I've got 70 hours on these tires now. So there's not much tread left. I'm really struggling. There's Brian. He was spooked by his bike making a little bit more smoke. Holy shit, where am I going? You can see I'm all over the place. And this is where the disaster really starts to set in. So I'm trying to go up this hill, put a little speed in, and then suddenly I'm on the fucking ground. Now this is the first of many falls. I picked the bike up, and then I strained my ass trying to fucking climb on the bike, because camera doesn't show it very well, but right now it's kind of uphill and kind of steep, so I'm like trying to get my leg over the bike. I'm like, because I slid on the mud and pulled my butt. You can see that my tire is just like a chocolate donut. Drop the phone back on the ground if I slip over. And here's the view from Brian's camera, because he was filming. He was just chilling out on the top of the ramp, wondering what's going on. Look at that, almost got wiped out. Can't control the bike. I'm trying my best. Go around the corner, and oh, you can see Maverick just behind me. And now I'm over. Like that. This is just the start of many problems. So this time, yep, get the bike up, strain my butt. But anyway, I get back on, I ride around, continue on going. I've wasted a few minutes here. Then I get to this hill. You can see what's about to happen. I'm like, oh, he's fallen over in the middle. Maybe I'll go slight to the right. Terrible idea. Like chocolate cake, couldn't get it, and then I dropped the bike bloody here. Now this was a really bad spot to drop the bloody bike. Because now, the bike is above me. I have no grip on the ground, so every time I try and do anything, I just slip. I can't lift the bike up.
Fucking hell.
It's buried in the mud. Thank you so much to this fella who came over and just gave it a tug. Because I was like stood on this thing, like trying to pull this thing for a good few minutes. I burnt all my energy trying to pick my bike up there, and I went to the other side, just drove up the grass and just rested. And I think on the first lap I was in 96th place. So as you can imagine, that was not exactly great. Yeah. And my first lap took 22 minutes and 44 seconds. So the next time round, the next lap. I'm swearing at myself. I'm not annoyed at them. It's like I finally get a little bit of speed and I'm trying to like just keep momentum. The second lap I'm like, oh fucking hell, it took me 22 minutes 44 seconds. Everybody else, because the lap is much shorter, we're doing the laps in about 15 minutes. So you can see how far behind I am now. I'm 8 minutes behind after the first lap. There's no way. Oh my god, I almost fell off. 8 minutes behind on the first lap. That's not good. That's real bad. Yeah, that's real bad. So the second lap, I managed to pull a 20 minute with 22 seconds out. The next lap after that, I pull a 19:23 out, and then after that, I was starting to really see it. Hey, it's Chris. And then I started to get into the flow of things. So I got a 17:50 and a 17:40 minute lap. This is like a little bit later on. I've like figured out how to ride. Got a track invader. Funny. I think this is like lap 3 where I've got the 19-minute lap. So, you know, like each lap I'm getting faster and faster. I really like what they've done with the course this year. They've definitely massively improved it. And I really genuinely believe it's a really good track. The only issue with it is my own fault. Ooh, a little bit hard into the tree. Pardon me. Dinner again. So yeah, first lap I was in the 90th. Second lap I got to 77th. Third lap to 74 overall. Fourth lap to 60th. Fifth lap to 55. Sixth lap I was still in 55. Fifth. Beep, beep. Thank you very much. This horn's great. I did start my 7th lap because I did pass the checkpoint in time, but there's people just everywhere. But I had a really bad stitch from having to eat my lunch because I was really hungry before the race, which was probably a mistake. I ate my lunch because they started the race 2 hours late, which was another reason why I just didn't bother doing my 7th lap, because I was like, there's no one behind me, I don't think. Don't know why he did that. I tried to look up his number to see if he was like the winner or something, but his number doesn't correspond to anybody's in our morning class, so I don't know who he is. Anyway, yeah, so because they started the race 2 hours late, I had my mate's 40th birthday to get back to in Toronto, and I gave myself an extra 2 hours to get back. But if you start the race 2 hours late, well, yeah, there goes all my entire leeway plan. I didn't expect them to start 2 hours late. So, yeah, so I just got to the 7th lap and I'm like, I'm just going to call call it, because I can't be asked to do the 7th lap. My stomach hurts and I need to leave. I was late to the party. To the dinner, so like, you know, that was slightly annoying, but whatever. I mean, they rerouted the race for the children. Better to do a good, nice race for them rather than just send them through the slop, which would have been horrible, and you just end up with like an entire field of traumatized kids stuck in the mud. That's not fun. So it's fair that they rerouted the race, and it's unfortunate that I had like something else to do that day, so yeah, whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, yeah, I started to pull the thumb out and ride a little faster, lap by lap. And I was definitely feeling really good in the woods. I was catching so many people making passes. As you can see, like each lap I was going 90th, 77th, 74th, 60th, 55th. Like, yeah, that's what I was doing. I overtook like 40 people. So, you know, I was really trying. It was good. That jump I actually managed to make on the lap afterwards. Like, I fully cleared it, and it felt really, really good. And I also started to realize I need to change gear when going down these straights, because on the first few laps I was just holding it in second or third. I'm not sure which gear it was. I think it was second. But I actually got a little bit more confident in changing gear, which is, I think, why I started getting into especially on those straights, which is why I managed to get down into the 17 minutes. Also, I think the track was drying out a little bit, or I don't know if it was drying out or if like the bikes had just like worn in a line, so to speak. So there was like a nice line to ride along. So that was cool. So I felt really good, and like I was really trying to like catch back up, because, you know, like sitting around for 7, nearly 8 minutes at the start of a race, that, you know, I've got to make 2 minutes up a lap. It's not easy for me. I tried my best. I got some new tyres on now, so if I'm ever in this situation in the future. But there was, yeah, I should be fine. There was a lot of people course cutting. Well, I don't know if there was a lot of people course cutting. I saw some people course cutting. Like, there was one guy on footage there, and actually, after I run out GoPro, I saw a guy at the enduro section. He just basically came out of the woods, and instead of riding all the way down the field, around, and then all the way back, or going into the enduro section and then going around, like, you have to jump like 10 logs or something like that, and they're in like a couple in a line, and then there's some logs around a corner. They're not like super hard like those super cross motos or whatever it is. It's nothing that crazy, but, you know, they're not small logs. They're, I don't know, a foot tall or something like that. There's just lots of them. Oh yeah, full power mode. Anyway, yeah, so he came out, he didn't even hit the enduro section, he just immediately turned left and then just cut straight across and then raced off, and I'm like, I couldn't see him. I don't know who it is. I don't really know why people would cut the course. It's kind of weird. Like, I don't get it. We're all here just to play. Like, whatever. It's the morning class. If you're I don't understand it all. Yeah, so I beat this guy. I feel this guy was probably thinking I was a complete dick. So, and I could fully understand why, because I came up and overtook him quite a few times, and then I would just crash in the motocross section, and then he would catch me up and then pass me again. So I didn't feel like beeping him again, because he obviously wasn't going to move over for me beeping. So I just put pressure on by riding really close to him until he just let me pass. So I think that got the point over, because okay, fine, he won't let me pass if I beep, but fine, I'm just going to keep the pressure on until he crashes, and that's not my problem. He could pull over. He knows I'm there. But he let me by, and thank you very much to him. Pretty sure he finished ahead of me, because I didn't bother doing the 7th lap, and he did. So he beat me. And fair play to him. Like, he just had better stamina than me. Like, my stomach hurt so bad. That stitch was unbelievably bad. And but enough excuses. It was good. It was good. It was good to have a little battle with him. I was a little faster in the single track, and he was clearly superior on the MX side. So, fair play. But yeah, I think what they've done to Walton, the circuit, is fantastic for the morning class. I think if they could put some barriers up on the grass track to stop people going around the logs. Because whilst I'm like muggins here jumping over all the logs, well, not just me, but there's a few of us jumping all over the logs, then some guy would just blast through and not like through the shortcut and not bother doing the logs, and you're like, well, now I feel like a dick. And then obviously everybody then doesn't jump the last log because they've just seen this guy blow 3 logs and pass them all, so they all get frustrated, and then I'm like, you know, everyone's now just skipping it. So it's like, well, what was the point of them? I think they're a fantastic addition, and jumping over the little logs is not a big deal, and it also stops people just riding extremely fast. You just have to go a little slower and know how to jump over what I would consider a small log. They're not even a foot. So anyway, I don't know how you're going to stop them. Like, what are you going to do? Put a marshal next to everyone? That's ridiculous. It'd be so boring for the marshal to stand out there, and you'd need so many. So I don't really know what to do. I don't know what to suggest. But nevertheless, I still thought that the course this year was fantastic. Like, they seem to have lengthened the single trail and the dual trails, or they're like this kind of track, which I really liked. And I really enjoyed the addition of the grass track loops, where I could go a little bit quick, which was really fun for me, because that was something quite new to me. I don't really get to ring the bike out. I think at one point on my fastest lap, the 17-minute 40 lap, I think I looked down and saw my speedo saying 95, which is the fastest I've ever seen off-road. Like, to me, that I was just like, holy moly. I think about then I was starting to feel like the bike was getting a little bit skittish with the suspension, so maybe that's why they don't want you going so fast. They put logs down. Because in the morning class, we've got all of these. We're all on like crappy stock bikes, and we don't know how to ride. So, you know, it could potentially be starting to get a bit dangerous. But I had a blast. It was so much fun. I was frustrated with myself, of course, with my first lap's performance, and my second lap wasn't great, but at least I didn't spend most of it just sat there resting. Like, obviously the time doesn't seem so like I improved so much, but then obviously you think I did a full lap the second lap, and it was still quicker than my first lap, which was like a 2/3 lap, because you start midway around the course. So yeah, you can see that it was significantly quicker and a significantly less amount of resting. I felt like I was getting a lot more aggressive. I was able to make some passes without beeping and just, like, you know, just take up the inside and go around. Like here, just go for it. Go. Not the most dramatic. I'm also riding not great through this section. I do it better on the laps, but, you know, stand up, paddling your feet through is exhausting. I don't know why I was doing it. I think it was just because I was going a little bit slow because of the guy in front, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to. I just beat him. Helps me get by, nice and easy. Yeah, just getting a little bit more confident in the mud. My tires still suck, but nothing I can do about that. There's many hours on them. So I got these new Starcross, and they're a bit thinner, so I didn't go for the fatty tires this time. I went for some more conventional sized tires. So let's see if that helps. Maybe I won't know how to ride anymore. Maybe they're a little... I went for the medium soft Starcross ones. So here's Chris. I think he was really struggling. I'm beeping him lots because... Hey, Chris. He had a puncture, so like his race was pretty much fucked because of that. Brian and Damien did pretty good. Yeah, it was good to race with them too. All over the place, but good times. I'm really looking forward to this track next year, and I hope it's a little less muddy. Or at least, even if it is this muddy, I hope I just bring fresh tyres so I have nothing to blame other than my own skill. Because, yes, my skill was a factor, but the worn-out tyres definitely did not help. Because I remember riding at Burnt River with these tyres, and they were fresh, and not having a huge amount of trouble tracking straight. Just had a bit of trouble keeping speed up, but I got better. Anyways, enough rambling. I think that'll do for this week. Yeah, I think that sums it up. Did that late, did that bad. Anyway, see ya.